No, no, it's fine, Keith, really. No one can tell you've been using Just for Men. Although, maybe do touch up the sideburns a little bit. Yeah, no problem. Happy weekend, guys. Although it will be Monday for you by the time you see this video, thanks to my diet upload speed. Welcome back to F1 2016, Sauber, F1 season happenings, driving. So catchy title. I prepared a video yesterday that was a quick overview of what happened in practice 1, although the bugs with the sound were really bad again, and I found out what the problem is. Be prepared for some idiocy here, but basically whenever I have a video encoding in the background, which I tend to do when I'm recording, it seems to cause sound bugs for any recordings I do in this game. That's why in my last video there was sound bugs in the first part, and then for the actual race coverage later on, the video encoding had finished and the sound was fine. So we'll be doing no more encoding while recording. No multitasking for this boy. Practice went incredibly well. None of the settings have changed, so we're on the same difficulty, all the same other stuff. What did change though is that round 2 this season was obviously in Bahrain, and for those of you who watched the Failcast F1 co-op will remember the 2015 season. Bahrain was a standout drive for me. It's possibly the best drive of the 6 years I've been doing the Failcast with Simon. It was certainly the drive I'm most proud of. I was going forward all the time. I had the setup right in the sweet spot, and it turns out my setup from last time has translated incredibly well. Let's take a look at what happened. So if we take a look somewhere in here, nah. I'll find it in a moment, or at least I'll talk you through it. But basically what did happen at the start was we had a quick talk with the head of performance engineering, beardy bloke. I don't know why I said beardy, he doesn't even have a beard. He told us that the new turning vane that we did some R&D on last time out has arrived, and that gave us a plus 2% increase in downforce. That seems to have made considerable difference. The other team to bring an upgrade package to this race was Scuderia Toro Rosso, which you can see have now leapfrogged Force India. I believe they were the other way around previously. They have brought a weight reduction. So rear floor under tray, it would seem. That seems to have worked quite well for them. They did reasonably well last time during practice, so that's pretty interesting. I'm trying to see if I can find anything that summarizes things. No, apparently not. So our practice program consisted of a track acclimatization program, which I aced because of the setup. Another tyre wear test on the soft compound for 7 laps. Again, I got 4 out of 7 laps purple, the remaining 3 were green. And then my final one was a qualification simulation, which I nailed on a level that I didn't believe possible. I was the only car running the super soft compound during that session, so it did perhaps overinflate my chances a little bit, but they currently estimate that I could make a credible run on pole. And that puts us in a dilemma, because that might suggest that I need to boost the difficulty. Sort of now I've got my eye in on the difficulty level, and the last race went so well. If quali and race this round goes super well, the game is too easy. I'm kind of reluctant to make that assumption at this point, simply because before we went into qualification last time round, they told me I was fast enough for a top 10 position in quali, and I ended up 17th. I could maybe have pushed for 15th, so I think they maybe overinflated my capabilities. The same could apply here. Secondly, this was a standout drive for me last year as well, and I don't think being particularly good at one track should then, you know, force us to be in a position where we can't compete on all the other circuits. And what I want to try and avoid is an assumption that, well, I can turn it up to 1 level below top, which is what I've run historically, and still be able to compete in a way that's entertaining. I mean, I was really pleased with the last race coverage, and hopefully you guys were as well. because I was able to go forward the entire time. There was a lot of overtaking going on. As a result of being super awesome during the practice session, we have a few options open to us in terms of ordering some more upgrades. We can leapfrog the Renaults in terms of vehicle performance. Now, I did have one request again to save the points, but no one else seems to totally support that, and I kind of know why he asked for it. Because you can just go from the back to right near the top if you save up all your points, but it just compromises progress across the board, I think. I'm going to go ahead and... I was torn between engine power and chassis weight, and I'm going to go for chassis weight because it's the most expensive, which tells me it's the bestest. Because logic. So we will order that upgrade, and that should put us still behind Haas, but in a good position. I will see you for qualification in a moment.
The cars are ready, the drivers are ready. We hope you're ready as qualifying is about to begin here in Bahrain. This has been an exciting track in times gone by, and typically it entertains the moment the lights go out.
We've seen in the past how tricky the first corner is. It's not an issue in practice and qualifying, but if you throw a lot of highly competitive drivers at it all at once, you've got an entirely different situation. The smarter drivers will be able to temper their approach and stay out of trouble, but it doesn't mean it's easy.
Okay, we know it's going to be a struggle to get out of this session, but give it your best shot.
Right, I know we had a problem with this last time, but I am going to switch to the harder compound of tyre because I know I'm going to need 2 sets of super softs come race day, and if I can use the super softs in the hopefully 2 more qualifying sessions to come, then that's good. I don't want to put any wear on my super softs because I think I can make it through to the next session. Let's get out on the old track, shall we? So I hope you guys have been having a good weekend, or, well, now it'll be over, but I hope you had a good weekend. I was a little bit late on the Grand Prix World front, I know, but out of nowhere I ended up on a boat. That's something that happened. I did boat things for a while, and that meant that I couldn't record at the same time, you know, because of water.
Low chance of rain now. If the situation changes,
Alright, we'll just run nice and wide and we'll let Marcus build out a gap because I really don't want traffic getting in my way. There's something I hate, it's people getting in my way. I think I could probably turn the corner indicators off for the next session, to be honest. We'll see. The car is still squirmy, it's very easy to lose the back end. I have yet to put it in the wall since I started this career, but when practicing and playing it otherwise, I put it in the wall surprisingly often, and I wouldn't be surprised to get a DNF, but I kind of hope that isn't the case, to be honest. I took that corner way too slowly, but I'm still seem to be catching Mr. Sweden man. Let's just ease right off. Okay. Let's turn it up to rich, since we are on the slower tyre. I do like this track, it's got a flow to it that I never previously enjoyed. And I think it's because my driving style was... The first seasons on Failcast F1, my driving style was incredibly poor. And the changing point for me was actually, I think, F1 2014, where I completed a season with Marussia and got immediately picked for Mercedes, and something just fell into place with that season. I don't know why. Obviously the car was much better, but in general I was just driving better, and I think so far at least this season has been particularly interesting for me because it's been my first chance to really apply what I learned. I didn't play much of the F1 2015 career mode because I don't like playing as another driver. I know it's a kind of petty reason not to play it, but that's just how I roll. I like being, you know, incompetent and a bit rubbish, and you can't credibly lay that kind of incompetence at the door of someone like Rosberg. Although to be fair, he is a sort of alcoholic bum figure in the pits these days. Oh, that's exceeding track limits. That's a penalty. That was completely accidental as well. I was just trying to avoid I was trying to avoid catching Marcus too quickly. I don't think this is going to be my fastest lap, to be honest. I might just have to catch Marcus and get him out of my way. I really don't like, particularly in qualifying, to be running nose to tail with my teammate, because it can mess up qualifying for the entire team. And I've said this 3 or 4 times in my videos down the years, but Ken Tyrrell absolutely hated that happening. He did everything in his power to stop his cars running together on track. Wow, Marcus got a good kick of speed there out of that corner, but he did run wide enough to get onto the gravel trap.
You're into P3.
Not the gravel trap, the curb. Well, that was good enough for 3rd apparently, but I don't expect that to last. Oh, that was terrible. I hope I didn't damage anything doing that, and I'm 3/10 down on my own time, so that's no good. I'm not taking anything for granted this time either, you'll be pleased to know. I am not going to be coming into the pits and considering it a job done, because last time I got pipped by my teammate, and I have to out-qualify him. I have to, or else I'm just embarrassing myself.
Any rain, but if a storm front does appear, then we'll let you know.
Yeah, whatever, Jeff. I'd kind of like it to rain, to be honest, because I haven't driven these cars in the wet yet, and I'm pretty sure that will be a guaranteed failure. I've been pipped by Verstappen. I talk big, like I can just catch Marcus like it ain't no thing, but this entire lap I've been genuinely behind him. But he is on the better compound of tyre. I wonder if I can get past him here, or if he's going to turn in on me. Please don't turn on me, you Swedish bastard. He did, didn't he? He did. He's on the faster tyre as well, so let's see if I can't use the DRS to get past him. I'm going to be offline coming into this corner as well, where it's particularly important to be online, or else that happens. Okay, well, I got past him without a major accident, but that was a pretty good example of why I was playing it so cautious on the race, particularly the opening race laps of the last episode. Because you saw how, like, even though I was there and a human being would say, okay, Ben's taking a dickhead line into the corner, but if I turn in on him, we're going to crash. There seems to be like an arbitrary AI switch that says, well, have I got the clean racing line? Like, have I taken this corner properly? If yes, then turn in and cause a massive accident. And I know why they've done that. It's to punish you for driving like a moron, but I think it punishes the AI drivers a bit too harshly, really, and can skew the championship, because a lot of people make really crappy overtaking maneuvers in this game. I mean, anyone who's played online knows how it works. You get very few people who drive clean. To be honest, if I had the time and the capacity to sort of reliably be there, I'd love to do an online league in this game, because I'm someone who genuinely doesn't mind being last. I don't. As long as I can ideally race against someone, and if I can't, then ideally I'd like to be able to race against myself. Oh, Harrow. I like that you get like bits of shit and rubber dust and stuff off the back of on your helmet visor from following people. Yeah, Massa's completely ruined my lap, so go on, go if you're going. I'll put less wear on the engine, turn down to lean, and I'll come in. I mean, I'm third. I think that's probably enough to get through the session. And don't get me wrong, I'm as uncomfortable as you are about sitting third right now. That's not what this channel's about, and I'll never develop if I don't drive in a way that challenges me. It's very easy to set the difficulty level to make yourself look good, but you're only cheating yourself at the end of the day. The only time I've ever got better is by turning the difficulty up, turning the driver aids off incrementally. I still feel very wrong about having the corner indicators on, but it seems that I'm running into some strange problems with my driving when they're not there, and I don't know why, because I know the track. I know the track. Alright, well at least we can maybe get some TV footage. I think I would have crossed the line at 81 kilometers per hour there, and I don't know how harshly they punish you for that. Oh, there's a Toro Rosso behind me. Now, something else I wanted to talk to you guys about is co-op F1 resumes on today for you, tomorrow for me. We need to talk teams, so if you have got a thought on the team front, I've just realised it's really stupid to ask you this question because you won't see this video before we finish recording. God damn it. We don't know which team to be. It's between Toro Rosso, Williams as an outsider, sticking with McLaren, or doing Force India. Because obviously I'm doing Sauber here and Simon is doing Renault over on his career playthrough. Originally we were going to do Renault as co-op because yellow. But given that the Renault seems to be really, really piss poor, I think I'm erring at the moment towards Force India, Toro Rosso. Kind of hard to say. Let's take a look at the session words. So we are currently 0.447 seconds off the time of Lewis Hamilton, but we are on a slower compound of tyre. But 1:37.1 matches my best time on the softs during the last session, so I am driving at my limit. If we turn the difficulty up, the gap between this level of difficulty and the next one is huge. Somewhere in the region of 1.5 to 2 seconds in lap time, which would put me around where the 139 guys are now, so I'd be, yeah, around where Marcus is. Maybe turning it up is the right thing to do, because everyone's lap time should decrease by about 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds. So my lap would be ballpark where Marcus and Esteban Gutierrez are now. That's, yeah. Do you know? We'll get through this session and we'll have a severe talk about the difficulty settings. Anyway, I'm going to wait for this session to time out, so you guys join me again shortly. Bye bye. So welcome back. I've just disappeared to watch the real Grand Prix in Belgium. I'm not going to talk about it, of course, because we're recording Failcast F1 tomorrow, so that will be happening. Let's speed up time, get to the end of the session. I'm still holding out in 5th, so no need to put any extra wear on the tyres. So, top of the timesheets at the end of that session was Lewis Hamilton on a 1:36.48, Kimi Räikkönen second on a 1:36.538, and Nico Rosberg on a 1:36.606. Sebastian Vettel beat me to 4th on a 1:36.995, and then I was next on a 1:37.108, although I was the only runner, I think, on the soft compound tyre. Weird. The losers today in this session were Rio Haryanto, Julian Palmer, Kelly Magnussen, Pascal Wehrlein, and Marcus Ericsson, and Fernando Alonso, apparently, because we lose 6 now for some reason. That means poor qualifying session for Jensen. The Haas's seem to have done relatively respectably, but it's Toro Rosso making that update work for them to take 9th and 11th, at least provisionally. Let's move on. I'm not going to risk the softs in this session, I'll tell you that much. Good, they've automatically put me on the super softs, so we're going to be first
All
out.
set. Everyone clear? Car to track.
Let's see what we can do here. Bastard. I bet that's Vettel. Oh no, it was Raikkonen. Let's see if we can't get past him. I know that sounds a bit optimistic, and it's proving to be so. But ideally I'd like to not have traffic on my fast lap. In this session it's kind of okay to ride the curbs a bit and be harsh on my tyres to make sure I get through if at all possible. It's only if you make it into Q3 that you have to sort of think, well, shit, I'm starting the race on these tyres, do I really want to push too hard? Which is a good rule, I think. I do like that as a rule. Well, I'm still considering, apparently I can't change the difficulty between Q1 and Q2, but I can change it prior to the race, so once we see how things pan out here, we will see if perhaps it's a smart idea to up it for the race, although again I'm still not 100% confident that I can perform at this level consistently race after race. I'm about on pace with Raikkonen, so if you can tolerate seeing a Sauber finish a fluke 6th, then, you know, maybe we're on the same page when it comes to difficulties. Let's make sure we're on Rich. Please don't ruin my lap. Oh, you bastard.
Your front wing is damaged. Performance will be affected.
Yes, I know it was. I'm just going to come in, I'm not going to set a lap, I think, because there's no way it's going to be good. And the car feels pretty crap. Running wide there. I can't see how bad the damage is. Yeah, I've completely lost one side. I'm usually prepared now to say something was my fault, but I'm not entirely convinced that that was. It seems that he broke super sharply. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. But I cannot hold the long sweeping bends now. It's going to cost me a lot of time, so I'll just bring it in, get a new wing on, get out, set a time, and hopefully I've taken 10% nearly out of my front left. That's not good. But yeah, I'm not going to be in the 131s, that much we know. So we're going to lose some time here. But nothing we can do, just have to hope we can get a clean lap first time next time. And I'm just going to be more careful. So some of the sound issues seem to have gone away, and by sound issues I don't mean, you know, me, I mean the weird engine noise situation that was occasionally happening, and I play this in a headset and occasionally the sound would, you know, like when you've been in a plane or a swimming pool and you yawn and your hearing suddenly becomes a lot clearer. I was getting things like that. I was also getting the sound moving from one side of the headset to the other for no reason. Okay, so we lose about a minute.
Car repairs have set us back a little. When you're
track is busy, not much I can do about that. But I have to set a time, so... Apparently it registered my lap time even though it was in lap, so that's weird. Who's this behind me? Kvyat. Let's get out of his way. We'll let these guys through. That horse is going to be in my way, isn't it? I'm trying not to take too much out of my tyres now, because I don't want to switch to a fresh set. He says as he rides the curbs like a bastard. As for predictions, I'm really loath to say where I'm going to end up either in the race or at the end of this session. I think I can make it into Q3, but then I don't believe I can do a great deal more than that. I think that's enough space for the horse, but you never do know. So I'm going to try... I'm going to keep it on lean until I get onto the start-finish straight, and for now I'm just going to push onwards. There's someone coming up behind me, but if I put my foot down a little bit, maybe I can sort of make it work for me. Bit of impetus. Let's turn it up to rich, and we'll come round and see if I can't get a clean lap. This is certainly not going as well as Q1 did, though. The car doesn't feel quite as good. I don't know if that's just in my head or if it's actually the track conditions have changed. The sky looks a little bit weird. I don't think it's going to rain, but it gives that kind of impression, doesn't it? It's pretty dark. I know, before anyone says anything, that it's turning night. It's a dusk setting, but it just gives me that vibe of imminent heavy rain. Braked a bit too hard there. A bit early there as well, but it didn't affect me too much. I'm trying to avoid going out of the track limits there. I can take that corner faster as well, I know I can. But while it's important to be critical of your driving, I think it's also important to not be too critical, because then you start making other mistakes because you're trying to not fuck up. I'm not looking at the delta to Paul right now because I'm afraid that if I see, it's going to put me off finishing this lap, and I just want to get a banker in. If a lap looks too bad early on, I don't give myself a chance to redeem myself. I just sort of assume it's a write-off and I slow down, and it's something I've got to get over because you can gain a lot in the third sector on this lap, I find. Against the AI at least, probably not against human players. But wow, that's a slow lap. Good enough for 5th though. But I can be faster, I know I can. Particularly if a certain Mexican got out of my way. I'm still sawing the wheel a little bit because the end starts to go. I don't think it comes across in the video, but if you've played this game yet, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That if you put too much power down, the car just... Well, that was a purple sector 1, but I don't believe it's going to be a purple lap because of Gutierrez there. But you'll know what I mean, that the car sort of snaps.
We shouldn't see any rain, but if a storm front does appear, then we'll let you know.
Oh, I was happier with that line, and I carried the speed through to the last minute as well. It probably wasn't kind to my tyre life, but it felt fast. It probably didn't look that fast, and it probably doesn't turn out to be that fast, but you'll notice, and this is probably good for Simon, because I know you're watching, Simon. I love you too. that we always found in the last 2 years of games that I use a lot less fuel than him, and I think this is a chance to see that actually I do lift and coast quite a bit. I tend to coast the corners rather than... Like there, that slow transition from braking to power. That felt like a good lap. Only good enough for 4th, but I'll take it. I'm ahead of Hamilton, that doesn't make any sense. I'm guessing 5th or 6th is entirely possible. I'm going to come in though, because I don't think there's any benefit to running this many consecutive laps, and I think that last lap was probably the best I can do in these track conditions. I don't feel that I made any obvious errors, and I was up 4/10 on my previous lap. I mean, there are certain limitations anyway from using a gamepad. A wheel will always be faster, and because I want to talk to you and I'm using auto gears, you lose quite a lot of time there as well. Automatic gears costs you... Some people, it varies, some people say 0.5 seconds a lap, others say up to 8/10. I don't know officially, or in the hands of like the perfect driver, what the difference is, but equally matched drivers, the one using manual gears should always be faster, and I think that's fair. Like I accepted coming into this that I was taking a performance drop against my usual benchmark because I was using automatic gears here instead of manual. I can drive manual, by the way, and at some point I will make a video proving that to you, but it just makes my presenting go to balls, and when we're supposed to be playing this together, it just makes sense that, you know, we play it together. And it's not just me going, and then either missing my gears or... What you'll notice in the episodes where I was still manual shifting with Simon is that I double shifted quite a bit, and it was a problem. Some refreshing water there, keep me going. Well, I can't say I'm disappointed with this session so far. A lot of guys coming in now, fresh rubber or just to take a break. There is... Am I reading that right? 1 minute remaining? Yes, I couldn't go round again at this point, even if I wanted to. I'm currently sat 4th. Can't really complain at that. Yeah, 1 minute 28 seconds left. Let's have a bit of onboard in a moment. Rosberg's currently first on a 1:36.130. Raikkonen a 1:36.292. He definitely felt faster than me when I was following him around. Like, I wasn't giving him an easy time. That was about as good as I could push, really. Cheers, Jeff. Lewis is surprisingly slow, but I've got a feeling he's going to leapfrog me, certainly in the last session, if not this one. I think it's Verstappen and Massa that I'm in the ballpark of this time. I don't think we're going to end up having a... Now, apparently my theoretical best is a 1:35.598. I don't know where it gets that from. I really don't know where it gets that from. Yeah, weird. Unless that's a theoretical best of all the purple laps together. Yeah, I think it is. So technically, in the right car, a 1:35.598 is possible in this session, apparently. Although I'm not convinced. Let's go on board with somebody. Not Rosberg, he's at the front. Yeah, let's get a bit of Jensen going on. He's currently 14th. Although live information says 15th, so there's a bit of a differentiation there. But the session is now finished, so this is his last lap, which it doesn't show me for some reason. Okay, so Nico Rosberg finished that session top of the pile, Kimi Raikkonen second for Ferrari, Vettel third, me a surprising 4th, but very much on my own there. There's a bit of a gap between me and Vettel, and Lewis was totally off the boil. I'm thinking 6th or 7th probably at the end of this, if I'm lucky. Race pace, I don't think it's necessarily going to be the case that I'm going to be going forward quite a bit. However, very, very happy. Also, Romain Grosjean gets his Haas into Q3. That's pretty impressive. The Force Indias and one of the Williams losing out there. Unlucky. Oh, no point pissing about.
Checks complete. All personnel be aware we have a car leaving.
So hopefully I'm the first one out. That's what I need. No. If it's a Ferrari again, I know it's personal. That's surprising. I wonder if that's Hamilton getting out early, trying to correct whatever's going wrong with his form right now. The track should be cooler again, because obviously the sun is going down. That means engine power should be up, but the tyres might not get up to temperature quite so quickly. That car is significantly faster than this one. I think we all knew that. I'm going to try not to drive into the back of someone again this time. It's quite a leisurely outlap from Hamilton actually. But yeah, you can tell he's got much more downforce than I have. By the way, I swung wide there. Not really talking to Jeff much this session, but I don't think there's much he can tell me. Rival status?
Sorry, we can't provide you with that information right now.
It's a stupid question, I just saw it on the menu and I had to think of something to say before the corner came up because I know that my rival was out in Q1, so don't even know why I asked. But you know, I was hoping he was going to say something like Marcus Ericsson is combing his beautiful blonde Swedish hair. I think that level of detail would be nice. If anyone from Cody's is listening, you know, bit of humour. They do it with Siri. Why not do it with Jeff? Right, rich fuel, me reckons. I've got the Durs. I've got a feeling I may be about to rear-end Lewis Hamilton, which would not be cool. And some dicks coming out of the pits right in front of me, just in time to completely ruin my lap. Thanks, boys. But he's also ruining his teammates' lap, so that's good. Nice how he gets out of the way for Hamilton, but not me. Did you see him move back onto the racing line there like an arsehole? Oh, we are really messing with each other now, Lewis. Can you decide? This could potentially be a very good lap. I know what you were thinking, because I was thinking the same thing. Can I just sneak past him on that weird corner? Turns out, answer is no. Because I was concerned that he was going to turn in and take my nose off, which he would have done. The car feels better, so cool temperatures seem to be a bonus for us. Falling back against Hamilton through these corners because either his setup is better or he's taking a better line. I put it down to just having a better car, to be quite frank. If I can get past him coming into this next turn. Pole?
So far. Well done.
No way! Completely messed that line up. Right, let's just... I changed my differential there, I think. Didn't mean to. Oh, Ricciardo takes pole. And doing a back-off lap. And then I'm going to try again without some gibbon in my way. I hope whatever change I've made there to my brake bias or differential doesn't mess things up too much. I'm thinking I increased my differential by 5%, and I'm going to watch this video back later to make sure that I don't say something stupid. I'm going to realise that I was right, and I could have changed it back and didn't. So there's that to look forward to, although I think that's probably something that I'll enjoy more than you. For a moment there, for a brief second, I was on pole and it felt good. I've never had that feeling in a situation where I haven't muted the AI. So this feels good. Rosberg is catching me quite significantly. I don't want him to get in the way of my lap because we know how that goes. So I am going to turn the fuel up and I am going to make sure either I ruin his lap or he's out of my way. Fastest lap for Rosberg there, just to go top of the pile. Let's see what we can do here. The car does feel good. It does feel really, really good. I'm so proud of this setup because I made it myself as well, and that's not something that I've ever done. It was the only race, it was one of 2 races last year that I made a Ben setup for, and it really, really paid off. And I said during a Dirt Rally episode, for those of you who've been here a while, that when we do the Failcast F1 in future, we really need to do our own setups because it makes the racing between us that much closer, and it really did. Monaco was another good example, actually, where my own setup was particularly good for qualifying, although for race pace it took too much out of the tyres. This seems to be good on qualifying. I'm not sure about tyres. I think it's probably a bit too heavy on tyres, but we'll take a strategy that accounts for that and a bad line through that corner, and we'll see what happens. But I'm thinking this could be possibly fast enough to do something pretty special. And if it is, then I will turn up the difficulty.
That's P2. You're
Oh.
going in 7th place.
Oh, I really thought I had pole there for a brief moment. Oh, I can't take any more out of these tyres. Yeah, they're 20% worn. I can't have another run at this point. Oh, again, the sweat is rolling down me, by the way. I know that's gross, but it really is. And to be honest, I wouldn't be able to put in that time without the sort of visual assistance I'm getting from the corner markers and the automatic gears, because I'm trying to think of, you know, what to say to you and how to say it. However, and you're going to have to take my word on this, but I reckon if I wasn't being filmed and I was using manual gears, I could be easily top of the pile here, which leads me to believe that certainly for my own not being filmed play, I need to be playing on Legend. That's why I'd be thinking. I'm certainly not good enough for Ultimate, no chance. And again though, this track is kind of a strong point of mine, so... Whew. That felt good. That felt really, really, really good. Qualifying is always a bit different to race because until you're stopped like this, you don't really get into the same rhythm you do with a race, so it's kind of hard to talk about other stuff other than what I'm doing there and then, even with the visual cues. But now we've got a moment. I mean, I've turned this down to high rather than ultra high graphics, so it could even be medium, and it still looks really, really good. I always think Bahrain is possibly the best track to really see how good these games can look. And now, for once, there's a credible simulation underneath. I mean, it's still not super nerdy, intense level of simulation, but it's a damn sight more complex than it has been historically. I'm finding playing this really, really super rewarding. Let's take a look at the live timing board. We lost out by 0.3 in Sector 2, and I know where that is. I know where it is. it's because we don't have enough downforce on the fast corner complex. You know, where Lewis was really pulling away from me on my second lap, I think, or my first lap. It was there.
If you want to know specific information or make certain changes to the car during a pit stop, you can tell me what you want over the radio. Press and hold the radio button to activate the system, and you can either speak the command or select it manually from the radio screen that will appear on the multifunction display. While the radio is active, cycle through command groups with the MFD button.
Yeah, that's great, Jeff. Don't you think that should have been like a pre-season kind of conversation that we had, maybe? Just a thought. So, assuming that we finish this way, and I don't think we will, everyone's only put 1 fast lap on the tyres and I've put 3, so I've really compromised my strategy. But it does mean a front row start, at least for the moment. Nico Rosberg pipping me there by 0.033 of a second. I'm 0.3 faster than Sebastian Vettel, 0.4 faster than Kimi Raikkonen, 0.7 faster than Daniel Ricciardo. I can only go backwards in the race. That's something that we're going to have to come to terms with quite quickly, I think. Because I don't believe this setup is particularly tyre kind. Although I didn't struggle in the Failcast episode.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top 3, who are Rosberg, Sauber and Sebastian Vettel. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. And it is goodbye. I'll just go through the final menus, and then I will take a moment to thank you guys for joining me. And I will go away and start preparing for the race. Someone must come and shake my hand now, surely now. Some badly animated person in eyeshadow must come and congratulate me. Overachieved by 18 positions, yeah, the difficulty has to go up. And you can suck it, Ericsson. Booyah. Booyah. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had an amazing weekend and that Monday has been reasonably kind to you. I will talk to you later this week, because tomorrow, for me, which will be today for you, I'm recording Failcast F1 with the venerable Simon over at Higher Plane Games. Please be sure to check out that episode once it goes live. I don't even know what car we'll be driving, so that'll be a surprise for both of us. You guys take it easy, and we will hang out again very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, how are you? I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.